I've got a creosote log to the left of you on the hearth. What do you think of creosote logs?
They're good to burn. So basically what it is, it's a compressed log. It's with sodium in there. So as you're burning it, that sodium is traveling through the flue, and that's what's helping loosen up creosote. So it's not gonna clean your chimney, but what it does is it helps us get more out when we get the brush in there.
So is it good, like the next time we have you come in and clean, for us to use the creosote log?
Yep, I would typically recommend burn one right before the end of the season.
Okay. Burn at the end of the season. And then how often should we burn creosote logs?
Once a season would be fine.
Once, okay.
Oh.
And then how often should we clean inside the firebox, or should we just leave that for you to do?
That depends. That's all preference. So,
And how many fires we have?
so ash is like an insulation basically, so it will retain heat. Some folks like to have that ash piled up. Some people like to have a nice clean firebox. So it's all preference.
And I see that we've got a cast iron door on the outside of the chimney, about shin level or knee level.
So what that goes to is this door right here. So this is your ash dump door.
I didn't know we had that.
I did.
It's kind of seized up, but generally,
Let me zoom in here.
yeah, it's kind of.
It looks like it's rusted, like we need to
It
take a
rusted
grinder
itself
to
up.
it.
You might be able to just take a hammer and just kind of tap it on the corners, and loosen it up. Maybe a little WD.
Is that a preferential way to clean the firebox of the ash?
I don't recommend it.
No, just leave it alone.
Ash carries moisture, and that ash will sit in that cavity of the chimney for years and years and years. Your chimney, it's made out of bricks. Bricks are porous. It could actually absorb that moisture and get into the brick. So I recommend not to use the ash.
Okay. Okay.
Best method is metal bucket with a metal shovel. Keep the bucket kind of close to the firebox with a damper open so that ash and dust will
Can go
draft
up the flue. Okay.
Once you're done, always store it away from the house. Never close to the house.
It can recombust. Yeah.
Mhm.
Now, are you familiar with fireplaces like this?
Like masonry fireplaces?
Yeah, because this brick that you're sitting on, I don't like how big it is. And I would like to remove all of this brick and then just have some kind of stone hearth that's level with the floor.
Oh, so you don't want a raised hearth. You want
Right.
one
Yeah.
flush with the floor,
Yeah.
and then goes right up to the firebox.
Yeah.
That's something you can do.
Okay.
Yep. This brick here is just a face brick. That's all it is. This is not part of your chimney. It's
Okay.
just decorative.
Oh, nice.
So once I have it cleaned, I'll have you take a look inside, and I'll show you face brick and then where it attaches to the chimney.
Okay.
There's actually something I want to show you in there anyways.
Okay.
Nothing serious, just needs a little repair.
And I see you've got a spray. It's the creosote destroyer. That works pretty good on glass.
That works really well on glass. So basically what I do is I'll spray it first with this. That helps loosen up that buildup on the glass.
Okay.
And once I have it cleaned with this, all the heavy buildup, then I'll come in with just my regular glass cleaner spray away, and I'll spray it with that, and that'll
Okay.
give it a nice clean look.
And do that as often as you want to have a clean glass, or just once a year?
Well, when I come out to service it and clean it, it's
You'll do it
We
then?
take care of it.
Okay.
unless if it gets dirty before then, you can always go ahead and clean it yourself.
Did you have Eric's makeup done before you started videoing it?
Or every 50 fires.
So have it cleaned annually or every 50 fires?
Every 50 fires.
Gosh, we plan on using it every
Oh.
day during the winter.
So you may wanna have us out a couple times a year then.
Mhm.
So, a face cord is about 150 logs.
We take down a whole bunch of trees on our property.
Okay.
We've got 5 acres.
We'll get through that pretty quick.
Yeah,
If you
we
have any
just
fire
took
brigade.
down an oak tree, so.
I would say twice a year, if you're burning like almost every night, at least, then we could kind of gauge it from there.
Okay.
Nope, start counter. We'll put kill marks on the brick.
Yeah.
So once you get like to an 1/8 inch thick of creosote in the flue lining, that's when you want to have it cleaned.
And how can you tell that there's a 1/2 inch of creosote in the flue lining?
If you got yourself like a flashlight, open your damper, just take a look up there with the flashlight, and you can kind of gauge, you'll see like the fluffy creosote building up on the walls.
Okay.
But just have me out 2 times a year and I'll gauge it for you and I'll let you know how often you should.
So like at the beginning of winter and at the end of winter?
Probably the beginning of winter and then in the middle of winter. So
Middle of winter,
right
okay.
now,
Valentine's Day then, or Groundhog's Day.
so I would do beginning or midway through September would be your first clean. And
So
then
not too busy then.
about January. Or you can do like January or December and then clean it in like April. So that way it's clean and ready to go for the season.
Okay, okay.
But whatever works best for you guys.
Book you well in advance.
Yes.
Yeah, you never know what you're gonna be doing.
Should I paint the fire brick?
That's just preference. You can.
Okay,
In my opinion, it looks a lot nicer.
paint it.
So basically, when you paint the firebox, you're hiding the background and you're more focused on
The fire.
the fire instead of the walls.
And what
Okay.
stops it from burning off?
Well, like the bricks are porous, so that brick actually absorbs that paint.
Okay.
And if you have really hot fires on your back wall, that could kind of burn away after a while, and you'll just have to repaint it. But
It depends on how I want it, aesthetic wise.
exactly. Is we do a camera inspection. That way, visually looking up it, it looks great. Like for a 1970s home, when you look up past the damper going into the smoke chamber, generally what you're gonna see is like corbelled brick. It's like a stairway effect on
Yes.
the brick. It looks like an upside down funnel, so it transforms the firebox going into the flue lining. Your entire smoke chamber has been parged and sealed, so it's a nice smooth transition. So that way there's no turbulence when the smoke goes up. It's just gonna kind of just flow into the flue.
Okay,
So the smoke chamber has been sealed. Above that, it goes into a clay terracotta tile. And
Right.
every 2 feet, there's gonna be a joint that looks similar to that connects each tile every 2 feet all the way up to the top.
okay,
So what the camera is gonna allow me to do is to make sure that all the mortar between the flue tiles is still there and not leaving a void to the dead space of the chimney. And also to make sure that there's no cracks in that clay lining.
because that's where fires can occur inside your house.
Correct. Well, you
So-
basically want everything to stay contained inside the system. If there's cracks or voids, now you're leaving areas where smoke can transfer, heat can transfer. We cannot see exactly how they constructed this chimney, so it goes from here all the way up to the top, probably about 25 feet. You could have a crack in the brick where it attaches to your house. We don't know that, so that's why you just want to do a camera inspection, make sure everything is solid.
All right,
So if there is a crack there, or if there is a void, what can you do about it?
There's a couple things you could do. You could, one, just not use the fireplace. 2, we could reline it. So basically a lining would be a stainless steel sleeve from the top that would come all the way down to the bottom.
Okay.
yeah, we've done that with our natural
Digital,
gas
yeah.
stove that we put in. It's like, it's got a cavity, an inner core, a cavity, and then an outer.
Yep.
Yeah.
So stoves, you definitely want to do that because it's a slow burning process. So they generally require a 6-inch flue, and you want to make sure that it's properly sized all the way to the top.
Mhm.
But yeah, a camera inspection would determine the condition of the flue lining. Alright, so one more clean here. So,
Magnetic? Nope.
nope, it got stuck in the lintel. So you're gonna want a foot from the lintel, not the actual opening of the firebox. So 1 foot at least, so like roughly right about there.
Only 1 foot,
Yep.
okay.
The sides you're gonna want 8.
8 inches?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Do you mind coming down here and nailing
Oh,
into the firebox?
sure.
So this is what I can see. Forgot my knee pad. So take a look in here. This is your lintel.
Yeah.
That's what's supporting this face brick here,
Yeah.
okay? Now if you go behind the lintel, that's the back of this face brick.
Okay.
And then you go up. You see that gap there?
Yeah, I do.
That should be filled.
So with what, rock wool?
Basically what I do is I'll stuff it with fireproof insulation and then I'll parge over it with a high temp mortar.
Okay, would that be like a rock wool though?
You could use just a rock wool, yes.
Okay.
You can get away with just putting rock wool in there too. The mortar is just gonna kinda protect it.
Yeah, make it permanent.
Yes.
Sean should be seeing this. Hang on just a second.
So right here,
Yep.
this is your lintel.
Yep.
You have your doors, right behind the doors,
Yep.
it goes into that lintel.
Yep.
And right behind the lintel where it meets that damper, there's a big separation there.
Yep.
I can take the gloves off. But anyways, you want to have that sealed, that way smoke's not going in between the walls there.
Yep.
That's, everything else looking above looks great. I can't really see anything beyond that.
Yeah, without the camera.
That's where the camera comes in.
I think the camera's a good idea.
I do too.
Put your phone in a case now and then you just attach your phone to the rods. But this one's cool because it has a rotating camera, so I don't have to twist the rods.
Okay.
Alright, so there's the top of your smoke chamber. Right where it meets the first clear terracotta tile. Screen. It's not the greatest. So basically, we're gonna rotate this camera. Slow it down a little bit. There's a void right there. Where am I looking?
So that's where they've got the rendering to make it a smooth transition in the smoke box. So from the steps into a smooth. So that could just be.
So I think what's going on there
It's cracked at the edge.
is that's at the top of your smoke chamber. That's the last brick
That's
and
what I
on the
was thinking.
tile,
Yep.
and I think it's cracked right below that brick.
Yeah.
Good news is as long as everything else checks out okay, that's an area where I could get in there and I could seal it by hand.
Mm-hmm.
It's not gonna be fun, but we can do it. Let's continue our way up. Tile looks good. So if you see a crack in a tile, it's not going to look like much right now. The problem is once you start applying heat up that flue, that crack is going to naturally just want to open up. And sometimes if it's cracked vertically straight up and down, it could open up far enough where that tile could just collapse as you're having a fire.
Does that little bracket just look like there was something attached to it? Just maybe it was the camera just caught the edge of the camera.
Oh, you may have seen the spacer or a scratch in the lens.
That was a little bit higher, I think. Yeah, go back up a bit. Okay, hold it just there.
Up that?
Yeah.
Yep, that's a spacer.
Okay.
So it kind of like
Gotcha.
keeps the camera center.
So that's the first tile on top of tile.
Mm-hmm. So now we're 2 feet up, right where it's attaching to the other tile. That mortar joint is completely gone.
So these tiles, don't they kind of dovetail into each other? Don't they kind of overlap and have some kind of
Tessellate, like
yeah.
a collar.
Yeah.
No, not with.
They just sit
They just sit right on top
like bricks on top of bricks.
So like a round tile, a bell tile, the tile will come down and then there's a bell at the bottom,
Yeah.
and then they fill that in with mortar, not with a fireplace tile.
Wow. Why not?
Stupid.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you why. Why do they use square tiles for a fireplace? Smoke goes up in a circular motion.
So, do we? Is it really point going up any higher if we know that?
There's gaps already.
I just want to make sure see the condition of the entire thing.
Yeah. Overall.
Now you've got all the camera out. Yeah, I guess you might as well.
Well, here's the thing. Say like we know it needs a liner. Say we put a proposal together and you guys say, let's move forward with that liner. I want to make sure that it's a nice clear shot so that way when I come back to do the job, I'm not getting halfway through the job and saying, oh,
Well, we found something else.
we found something else.
Okay.
And basically bypass the smoke chamber and the flue.
So as it is, it's not safe to use.
No.
Drat, I was so looking forward to having a fire today.
Not saying if you use it, you're gonna have a fire, you know, it's just.
Greater chance of having a fire with the cracks.
Right. Inside the flue. Oh boy. See that?
Can your camera measure how big that is?
Yeah, probably about like that.
No, that big?
Mm-hmm. So generally, when you see gaps at the bottom, the closer you go to the top, those gaps are going to get bigger. Because once that mortar is gone, now the way the tile kind of falls,
Shifts.
and leaves bigger gaps towards the top.
And it looks like they had the chimney updated because there's new bricks outside, but they didn't pay attention to the inside.
So when you put a liner in, does it come as a single piece or does it take together?
Well, we get them in 20-foot sections. I used to drop them in one piece, 20-foot sections. That's a little risky, so we like to cut them in 10-foot sections and then couple them together.
Yeah.
And then depending on the installation, there's a couple ways to go about installing a liner. But how we determine the size is by the firebox opening and the height of the chimney. That's gonna tell me what size is required for natural draft. Now say if it's calling for an 11-inch flue, that's the inner dimension, and your existing tile, the idea of that tile, inner dimension is like 10 3/4 by 11. We're not gonna get an 11-inch liner down there, so we would have to break out all those big tiles
Goodness.
in order to get the proper size in. Now, in some cases, and if we do it that way, what we do is we wrap the lining with an insulated blanket and then drop it down, which makes the weight of that liner twice as heavy now. The other way is we drop the liner right down the existing flue tiles, we seal it at the bottom, and then we backfill it with a product called Thermex insulation. Looks like a kitty litter almost.
Yep.
And we fill it all the way up to the top. So, in my opinion, that's the best insulation, but sometimes we're not able to do that. To get the liner to go smaller, one would be an exhaust fan at the top, which is extremely expensive because those fans are not cheap. But then you have to have an electrician come out here and wire it up. If your power ever goes out, your fan goes out while you're having a fire, and you get smoke back up that way. The other way I've seen guys do it, and I do not like this way, is they'll downsize the lining and then they'll put in what's called a smoke guard. It like narrows down the firebox opening. That way you can put a smaller size liner in there. But I always like to fit the lining for the natural opening of the firebox. That way, you want to burn wood, you can burn wood. You want to put gas logs in there, you can put gas logs in there.
So there was another option as well. We could have a smaller firebox. Make the firebox smaller. Just have a smaller fire, basically.
Best thing about it is, you may not want to hear this, but it's not something that needs to be done right now. You know, it's a luxury. You have time. It's not like you have to make a decision right now. Best thing to do is take some time, think about it, because it's whatever you do, it's not going to be cheap. And make sure that's the route you want to go. If you're more interested in having a nice, just open fire, go wood burning. If you're looking more for, you still want to play with fire, but you want more heat, maybe a stove insert. If you want heat, you don't really want to deal with maintenance ever, do a vent-free gas log set. So there's plenty of options out there. Look at that. They didn't even use a tile here, they just put brick in there. So you'll see this every once in a while too. This must be towards the top. Yep, that's towards the top. So a lot of times what these masons will do is, instead of cutting a tile for their last tile, they'll put a couple bricks and then they'll set their tile in there, which is not good. One, you're leaving more joints to fail. Bricks are porous. Looks pretty good looking up, but I can't get a 360 view looking straight on like this camera.
You should be able to get high.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's see. What's that?
The cap's pretty high. The cap's a good 12 inches. But it's a square cap.
I'll take a look at it.
I wonder if there's.
So we got 1, 2. Size of lining up to this firebox.
So 20-foot flue height, okay.
$1 a foot. $1 a foot.
Yeah. Listen to him laugh. Yeah, sure.
They had 2 masonry fireplaces, and we wanted to make sure that they were okay. And I'm like, I had that feeling that I'm like, man, I gotta give them bad news.
Yeah.
I did the camera inspection, and everything checked out perfect. Like,
Well, 85 years ago, they made it proper. 1970 doesn't sound like they made it proper.
no, I like to give good news, not bad news. But me being able to do that for them, it felt good to leave. Because honestly, 8 out of 10 fireplaces that we do, we put this camera in there, we're gonna find issues.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
it's just like, how bad are they? You know what I mean? If it's just like a little tiny little spot, I'd pass that. You're not supposed to, but if it's like a little spot,
Yeah.
you know, just keep an eye on things. A camera inspection you want to have done once every 5 years.
Okay.
And like I said, you can keep it open, you can close it, but it's basically so you're not having heat loss.
Yep.
You do have the doors on here to help with that.
Yep.
If you ever did like experience like really cold downdrafts like in the winter where it's like extremely cold in this room, you could always do like an energy efficient damper at the top, but you'll know if you need one.
So far we haven't, you know, even on that, -1 wind chill a couple of days ago, this kitchen was fine.
That's good.
Yeah.
Because no matter what you do, this room will probably always get a little bit colder because of the brick.
Okay.
Sometimes lining these cotter pins.
Blindly.
Ratcheting damper,
Okay.
like a poker style handle. So basically what you want to do is just gently lift up on it a little bit and push back.
Oh yeah, that's pretty easy. How's that?
And you're going to want it all the way open
Yeah.
or all the way closed.
Oh yeah. I think that's what we've heard rattling, so
I think that's the top, to be honest with you, because when I was hitting it with the brush,
That's what it sounds
kinda
like.
yeah.
okay. So
I'll put the grate in there.
So it would be nice to get an idea of whether we want to spend money on getting the line put in. But we'd be okay just to have one fire, just to see if we like it, if it's worth it. Do you think?
I can't say that.
Yeah, you can't. No.
That's up to you. Like I said, you know, we can only tell you what we see. Like I said, you know, you could have 1,000 fires in there and maybe never have a problem. You could have a couple fires in there and have a problem. You just don't know. And I hate to say that to you because I know you guys want to use the fire.
What were you gonna say, Sean?
If you think we could have a couple of fires and have a problem, you didn't say one.
Don't have any fires in there. 35 by 27.
How high?
20 foot.
No, how high was the?
35 by 27 by 20 feet of flue height.
You mean the firebox, how tall the firebox was?
27. So you're at 945. We get away with a 10-inch flue. Basically, we gotta see if we can get a 10-inch lining down.
Yeah, to the top and all that.
Let me see if we can get up there safely. If not, we may have to come back on a nicer day. Yeah, that's just a face brick. So
I'm gonna come home from work. Yes.
And the brick's gonna be down.
Like the back.
yeah, that's just the face brick. You can see there. Nothing's going in to the
Yeah,
wall.
it's a spring job.
It's just floating. So every couple of feet there should be like an L spacer that goes between the joint and then it screws into the wall.
Okay.
I'm like buckling in. A screen up there, I mean, we did see daylight.
Yeah. And
See, generally you'd see, oh, well, my camera didn't get it. So the old existing flue for the furnace and water heater is still there.
Yep.
And that one has a cap. But this one does not.
okay.
So what does that mean for us?
It could be sealed at the top.
Oh,
It was still
it might be,
We've seen daylight, but it could be coming from like
Looks like
the
pipe
corners.
strap around the top.
Mm-hmm.